Hey fantasy football fans, it's me, the Fantasy Football Girl, coming at you with another edition of Vlog Times. Before we jump into 1 for the money, 2 for the show, and 3 to let go, I just want to give a special thank you and shout out to John and Patrick. They're the hosts of the D-League show and they had me on as a special guest last night. I had a great time. They do a really funny 2-hour long show. I'm actually in the second half of the show. They talk everything from baseball, basketball, obviously football, obviously fantasy. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do so. There's a link just below. And if you did catch us live last night, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's get right to it. My money this week is the rookie tight end in New England, Aaron Hernandez. And really, after last week's performance against the Browns, how can you blame me? He found the end zone not once, but twice for the first time in his professional career. He had 5 receptions for 48 yards. Now, admittedly, this week the Pats are taking on the Steelers, so that's a tougher matchup. But still, Brady is being forced to throw to the middle much more frequently, with the deep ball options being sort of a flex and, let's be honest, kind of a mess, right? So, the thing that I like the most about Hernandez is his speed and his size. In tandem, those two things, and, you know, his talent, are allowing him to greatly outplay Rob Gronkowski, the other tight end, who's dropping balls and just not playing up to the level that Hernandez is. So, if he's available on your waiver wire, which I would be surprised by, but if you've been stashing him away because he hasn't seen the end zone yet, now I think is the time to kind of put him in every week. You know, obviously look at the matchups, whoever else you might have on your roster, but certainly he is money from here going forward. All right, so let's get to 2 for the show. My 2 for the show is Jacoby Ford of the Oakland Raiders. He won the Special Teams Player of the Week award for his performance last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. He returned a 94-yard kickoff for a touchdown, also had 6 receptions and 148 yards. So he and Jason Campbell seem to really be developing a nice rapport. It'd be interesting to see if that continues. Now, this week they're on a bye, but they come back in Week 11 against the Steelers. Now, we're not sure who's going to be under center. Sounds like Coach Cable would like it to be Gradkowski, but Al Davis is a Campbell fan. So I always feel like Al Davis is going to win. Plus, Campbell has really improved since he was initially benched for Gradkowski and then returned once Gradkowski was injured. So, you know, if you need some depth, if you're looking for an option, if you just want to keep your eye on someone, Jacoby Ford is my 2 for the show this week. All right, so now let's go to the final player of the week to let go, Steve Smith of the Carolina Panthers. Now, this is a guy who is an elite wide receiver, but is just limited by his quarterback. He had great rapport with Matt Moore, scored 2 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season, but, you know, now Moore is out. Well, Moore was benched for Clausen, and then Clausen was benched for Moore, and then Moore got injured, and now Clausen's the QB again. Just a mess. You know, I just don't think that if you're a huge Steve Smith fan or you're holding out hope, keep him on your roster, but certainly don't start this guy unless something magical happens in Carolina. I'm sorry to do it. Steve Smith would probably kick my butt if he heard me say these things, but still, that's what I think. All right, so that's it, guys. Be sure to listen to Start, Sit, and Extra with the Fantasy Football guys. I think we're on live tonight, but I'll post a link probably Friday or Saturday. Hope you're having a great week. Don't forget to set your line because tonight is the first night of Thursday Night Football for the rest of the season. See you guys later.